Okay, now we will continue the discussion about blood vessels, the vascular system. So here we will be talking already with the blood vessels, and we have three blood vessels. We have the arteries and the veins and capillaries. Okay, let's now talk about these blood vessels. Blood vessels. We have one, two, three blood vessels. Okay, so these blood vessels are the arteries. The smaller arteries are called arterioles. Okay, and we have the capillary beds, the smallest among the one on this blood vessel. This is the smallest according to their diameter. And we have the veins. The smaller veins are called venules. Okay, so to distinguish this one, what are their functions? So arteries and arteries. Look at this code. Away. Carries blood away from the heart. So this is the main purpose of the artery. Okay, capillary bed. Okay, this is where exchanges between tissue and blood is happening. Okay, so this is the place where gas exchange, material exchange is happening between tissues and blood. And these veins and venules, their main purpose is to return, okay, blood towards the heart. These are the ones responsible for venous return. Okay, so from now on, when you are second year later on, you will always hear this venous return. And you know that the venous return is the return of blood to the heart. Okay, that's the work of our veins and venules. Here you can see the comparison. No? So this is the artery and this is the vein. So let's continue. This is the microscopic anatomy of arteries and veins, comparing the two. So there are three main layers. First is the tunica intima, okay, which is made up of endothelium. So this is the tunica intima, this first layer. This is the tunica intima. Okay, they are made of endothelium, which is very smooth so that the blood can flow freely. Okay, tunica media made up of smooth muscle. Okay, this is important here. The smooth muscle controlled by sympathetic nervous system. Okay, so this sympathetic nervous system can cause this to contract and dilate. Tunica externa, most fibrous connective tissue. It contains a lot of fiber. Okay, the tunica externa. So this is the tunica externa. Okay. So if you look at the structure inside on the walls of these arteries and veins, now you will notice that the lumen. Look at the diameter of the lumen. One question here is which has the larger diameter? So it is the vein that has larger lumen. They say larger lumen. Okay, so this is the lumen. It has larger lumen. What is the importance of this one when you are in nursing? Okay, so in nursing, when you will be on your second year, you will assist in the cord care, wherein you are going to cut the cord of the baby, the newborn, and later on, after cutting the cord, you will check the artery and the vein in the umbilical cord. Okay, so here, how will you determine if it is an artery or vein in the umbilical cord? This is one thing that you will observe. No? The lumen of the vein is wider than the lumen of the artery. So when they ask you which among these is the artery and vein, just look at the diameter. And there are two arteries and one vein in the umbilical cord. Okay? So that is one important thing in our nursing, no? So structural differences among the blood vessels. Arteries have thicker tunica media than veins. So tunica media is this one, no? That's the middle part, the tunica media. Okay, the middle part, this one. If you compare, no? If you compare the tunica media of this vein and this artery, okay, the arteries have thicker tunica media than veins. No? And capillaries are only one cell layer. If you look at the capillary, it is only one cell layer. So endothelial cells. So only one cell layer to allow for exchange between blood and tissue. So that is the purpose. No? So who has the thicker tunica media is the artery. Okay, and capillaries only have one cell layer, which is tunica intima. Wala na, so only one. Veins have thinner tunica media than arteries. Veins also have valves. This is the one, okay? Important thing to know. Oh, meron palang valves. So, they have valves to prevent backflow. Okay. Lumen of the veins are larger than the lumen of the artery. If you look at the lumen, comparing it, no, it has wider lumen than the artery. Okay. So, this valve is very important in order to prevent backflow. So, how does the vein use this one? So, here, if you look at the tunica media, if you look at the tunica media of the artery, this is very important. If you look at the tunica media of the artery, they are very thick than the tunica media of the vein. This one. Okay. So here, the tunica media of this, it contains smooth muscle and elastic fiber. They contain elastic fiber. Okay. So the arteries now are more elastic. So the meaning of elastic is it is able to stretch and recoil. Though the resistance of this um, blood vessel is stronger than the vein. No? So this one, when the heart pumps, okay, they work in a high pressure because the pump push the blood, no, inside the artery, but because it contains a lot of elastic fiber, these arteries resist. Okay, resist. That's why they work in a high pressure. They work in high pressure. They resist. That's why they are called resistant vessel. Okay, that's why the left side of the heart works more than the right side of the heart because they work on the resistant vessel, which has thicker tunica media and contains more elastic fiber than the vein. And the vein is called now the capacitant vessel. Okay? Okay. So if you look at the tunica media. So here we can see, no? Okay, so for example, this is the skeletal muscle. It will milk the veins and the blood inside the vein will go upward. Okay, and they are not able to go back because there is a valve here that will close if the blood will go down. Okay, so uh, yeah, the milking action of the skeletal muscle help push the blood towards the heart. Okay, and to prevent it from going back or backflow, it is the work of the valve. Okay, So we have the skeletal muscle pump or milking of the skeletal muscle and the closing and opening of the valve so that the blood will go up and never go back. So movement of blood through the vessels. Most arterial blood, most arterial blood is pumped by the heart. Okay? Veins use the milking action of the muscle to move blood, no? And capillary beds. So these are capillary beds when we go to the capillary beds. So this is the arteriole and the venule. Okay, remember the smaller arteries are called arteriole. The smallest vein is called the venule. They meet each other and they meet. This is now called the capillary bed, wherein exchange of gas and material happens. Okay? So, consists of two types of vessel. We have the vascular shunt vessel, which is directly connecting an arteriole to a venule. So, vascular shunt, this one is the vascular shunt, directly. Okay, that is the vascular shunt. Okay, so there is direct connection from the venule to the arteriole. And we have the true capillaries, okay, or the exchange vessel. True capillaries or the exchange vessel. Oxygen and nutrients cross the cell, and carbon dioxide and metabolic waste products cross into the blood. Okay, so these are lateral to the vascular shunt is the true capillaries. Okay, so they are called the true capillaries. Okay, so this is the one doing the exchange. That's why it's called exchange vessel. So oxygen and nutrients cross the cell and carbon dioxide and metabolic waste products cross into the blood. So exchange here is happening. Okay? So this is now your vascular shunt.